You know, they stayed in the Antioch church for some time. After Paul or Saul had seen that revelation on the road to Damascus, after he had preached in Damascus, after he had been to Jerusalem church, after he had been to Tarsus, and Barnabas went to call him from Tarsus, and they stayed in Antioch for a long time. And after that, the Holy Ghost spoke, and he said, I have a work for them now. Prepared men, prepared men. And you think about Barnabas, we have been told his name from Acts chapter 4. How he sold his property and remained in the church. And the people in the church even gave him the name Barnabas, a son of consolation. And he had been a man that knew the work of the Lord, the people of the Lord, the word of the Lord, the doctrines of the Bible. Prepared men. And these were prepared men in a praying church. Praying church. You know, there are churches where they don't count praying serious, not to talk of fasting. You know, there may be some stereotyped type of prayer. But you know, they do not actually count praying very, very serious as a task in the church. And they want to do missionary work. Some of those young people, they have been reading some missionary books, and they're fired up emotionally. You don't have the Spirit of God, the power of God, the wisdom of God, the maturity it takes. They are not prepared. And they say, well, some of our members, they know different languages. Some of our members, they want to get into the adventure of going to other lands. My brother, my sister, is more than that. More than that. Prepared men in a praying church now went on a preaching tour. Then the destination, being obedient and submissive, they were led to the largest city in Cyprus to begin a dynamic ministry. Now, God is a wise God. And you know, sometimes I watch what people do. And they travel all around. They come to a place like Lagos. They do not really stay in Lagos. Then they go to Badagry, then they go to Ikorodu, then they go to Ekpe. Then, you know, they spend 2 days there, 3 days there, 4 days there. But you know, Paul the Apostle, led by the Holy Ghost, if you ever study the life of that Paul the Apostle, the missionary journeys, he went into this Antioch, as Barnabas called him, and stayed there. That was the largest and most famous city in all that environment. And they stayed there, and then the Holy Ghost sent them out. And if you have read, you look at the letters Peter's written to the various churches. Corinth, a major town. Ephesus, a major town. Thessalonica, a major town. And you see, as you look at where he went, major towns. Let me tell you something. As we have been following the Holy Ghost, we started in Lagos, a most significant city not only in Nigeria but in Africa. That's led by the Holy Ghost. Then we went to state capitals, the most important city in every state. Then as we go to various countries, where do we send our missionaries? Do we send them to a village and we say, well, go and start in one village somewhere because, you know, the accommodation will be cheap there and you won't have a lot of... No, we send them to the capital of each country. And as we send them, it's, you know, led by the Holy Ghost. Because, you know, when the work is to be done and directed by the Holy Ghost, you follow the Bible principle. But you know, there are people that do not know the destination. They do not know the places where they are to go and proclaim the word. I'm not talking of, you know, a young boy just saying, well, okay, then I'll be going to Washington, D.C. Well, you'll go without the Holy Ghost and come back to report to us. How do you do this? And I went there, nobody got converted. I'm talking about planning something by the leading, by the ministration of the Holy Ghost.